Y'all talked about Patel, right?
Yeah, no, we haven't yet. We haven't really gotten into it.
Oh gosh, yeah, yeah. Biden need to do whatever fuck he want and then some, because Trump's senior ass kisser. I think he's somewhat qualified, but his senior kisser will make sure that there is no bars. Whatever he wants is going to happen. Oh, you want Biden's house tampered with? You want to put some mics in there? You want some people sitting out from the door? He'll do it. He'll do that for anybody and everything because he's a major ass kisser.
That's true. That's his MO.
Too far up his ass. It's like, you can be an ass kisser. You can brown nose a little bit, but I mean, he's like climbing all through this man's colon. That's scary. Okay? He's
He's
like,
picking out the polyps.
yeah, he's picking out the polyps. And you know what?
Mm,
I think the scariest part is like when you have this cult like behavior, he's like one of the major recruiters.
yeah. No, no,
And
he's
and that's scary.
no. There is a cabal of like worst case guys, which include him, Steve Bannon, Steve Miller, and Sebastian Gorka. It's like the ugly five. It's like that they are so they're just horrible, horrible, awful people who have absolutely no moral fiber in their body whatsoever.
Did
They're
he get
just
banned in anything yet? I haven't heard anything.
yeah, nothing official, but he's always in the background. He's always dicking around. That's the way Trump always works. The thing is that you don't see like Roger Stone, but he's always there. He's calling him up once or twice a day. Those are the guys who are doing the real dirty work in the background, and you don't see them. They're the cockroaches that are under the table.
The problem is the government will never be the same. That's the
That's true.
problem.
That is true. The damage is done, and it's really sad because we came very close. We came very close. I'm still I am
And now our
I know
country will not be in any way exceptional.
correct. Yeah, we were
You know
going in
what?
that direction anyway, but
But you know what? Our country is, I mean, what we've been brought up on is that we are exception. No matter what's happened. We're exceptional no matter what happened. We're elite no matter what happened. I mean, this is what we grew up on, right? American exceptionals. Nobody can do better. We are exceptional in some spaces, but we don't have to be exceptional in everything. I
I
just look
agree.
forward to.
Hey,
bye bye
Empress.
Norm. It's been nice.
Empress, would you agree we're exceptional on, and this is before Trump, so I'm not blaming Trump, on the degree to which we will sacrifice the majority of Americans for the few rich people to get richer?
Oh
And I
yeah.
love money. I'm not anti-money. That's exceptional, I would say.
Oh
How
yeah, I
low?
love money as well. I'm not anti-money. It's just what people do with the money, because money is not the root of all evil. It's the person who hands get attached to the money and what they do with it.
Mm, I'm looking around at the chat, so I apologize for my. All right, let's see what's going on here. Happy Monday. It is what December. Unbelievable. It is a beautiful sunny day. There are a lot of birds out today. The swimming pool is clean. It's looking good. And we got some, let's see, what else is happening here? I don't know. No coup today. So that's a good thing to wake up and find out that there's no coup. Well, at least in Burkina. I don't know what it's like in other places. Anyway, let's hear about what everybody did for Thanksgiving weekend and what else we've been thinking about and anything more about any of uh, these selections. I don't know. I mean, is it possible that like we might actually prevent him from becoming the head of the FBI? I mean, he's going to cause so much damage within the FBI. There's going to be like mutiny all over the place.
I
And then
think no matter what, he'll get a position somewhere
yeah,
in
no,
the
he will.
FBI.
He probably will. And it was sort of everybody thought that, oh, they're going to give him like a deputy position so that he doesn't have to be put in front of the Senate. But it'll be interesting to see who in the Senate is going to, go against Trump. Because I think that's the only. I mean, we have so little. We have the leverage we have is that this both the Senate and the House are extremely close. I didn't realize how close the House was. They said the House is the closest it's ever been in the past 100 years. So it's just never this close where it's only like five votes, and it's actually less than that for the next 2 months. It's only going to be what is it? It's 215 versus 217. So that's crazy. So that's going to be interesting. And then from the Senate side, they keep talking about there's like 3 votes. It's really 4 votes that the Republicans need to make sure that they have that they can't let go to the other side. And for something like this, well, it'll be interesting to see who does, because I think uh, the only way to play this is to somehow separate any institutional Republicans left, and there aren't very many, from the maggots, because that's the only leverage we have. That's the only way to get to 50+1. So I don't know. What do you think? Let's see. Let's go to Rick. I always go to Rick at the end. Why don't I go to Rick at the beginning? Rick, are you ready? Are you
Yeah,
caffeinated?
I am getting caffeinated, but we've got people working on the house today, and it's kind of crazy today. But yeah, it's I was really, really disappointed in what Biden did,
Really? Why?
pardoning his son.
Yeah, I was very happy.
Ah, it. This is why people do not trust government.
They don't trust government anyway. It wouldn't make any difference. It would make
Yeah,
absolutely zero difference.
no,
Zero difference.
it makes it worse.
I don't think so. I think
Yeah,
it shows
I,
humanity,
it was
and I
just,
think
it
it's a
was a
good thing.
horrible, horrible decision that that just shows us that people are above the law if you have power and money and you're a white man.
I don't think it
That, that
shows that at all. I disagree
it
100%. I
well,
disagree
you
100%.
would.
I
I,
do. I
I
disagree with you 100%. I
I know
do.
you would. I know you
No, I
would.
think it's I
But
think it's ungracious. I think it's not taking into consideration the actual situation where you have basically an elderly man who has done incredible service, and he's doing something great for his family for very good reasons. And it's not like he did anything wrong. He fucking hit a check on a box that 99% of the people who do that do not get indicted. 99.9% do not get indicted. So what the fuck is that? Why is it that is such a fucking big deal?
it's a big deal because of the perception of what it
For,
is.
we are so
Nobody,
past perception.
none of
Why do you care
us.
about perception, Rick? They've blown through perception. Perception and optics do not matter post Trump. Trump
So
has
let's make
ruined
it.
that. It does not matter. It doesn't matter.
Let's shut up for a second and listen. It matters because it doubles down on the worst.
I don't think
It
so.
it does. It
I
does,
don't
and
think
it.
so. I don't think so.
Well, you don't think so, but
No,
it
I think
does.
I think
I
that anybody who
I was
thinks
at
that
a.
this is
I
a
was at.
this is a
I was
problem,
at
I
a.
think is a sucker. You buy
I
into this to Trump's sucker framework of the world.
it's an
I just,
egotistical
it's
old
not.
white man
eh,
who 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 is so privileged that he can do this. Nobody else can pardon their own family. Nobody else.
But you know
Yeah,
what? Here's the thing. It's in his job description. It's part of his job. He can pardon whoever the hell he wants to pardon. Now
He
what?
can, and they shouldn't be able to.
Okay. Well, that's your opinion. I see where you're coming from. Used
I
to be my
just,
opinion. No longer my opinion.
Yeah,
yeah. No, I think
to
it's
me, it
actually
makes
a
it
good use
worse.
of pardon power. I think this is a good use of pardon power. I think pardoning all of the crooks who Trump pardoned, and pardoning the January 6th things. I think that's travesty, and I think that those things make a difference, and I think those things take away from the fabric what America is. What Biden did was something any parent would do for their kids. I think it's totally.
Yeah, but
I respect him for doing
any
that,
parent
and I think
can't,
we should back him for doing that, and
any
not make a
parent
big deal
can't
about it.
do it. Any parent can't do it for their kids. That's the
Yep.
point.
But if you
That's
had
the
the
point.
opportunity, you would.
No, I don't think any parent would.
I do. I do.
Um,
I would.
to me, now it just gives Trump free reign to do whatever he wants, and
He's doing every.
there's zero. Yes, he will
He's
do it,
doing everything he
but it
wants
gives
anyway.
but it gives
This
him
is
no
this is the stuff that hits me.
it gives him no
Don't get rid of
moral
the
high
filibuster,
ground.
because if we do that, then the Republicans might do it. Right?
Well,
That's
that's true.
logical.
But
That's logical.
when we become them, to me, it's like, what the fuck, you know?
We haven't become them, because we don't do we we don't we decide that when somebody wins an election, that we concede. We decide to do that. That's the difference between us. Not the optics, not the perception, but there's actual things that have nothing to do with optics and perception that are actually substantial, that are different. I don't give a shit about the optics and perception anymore. I used to, but that's been thrown out the window. I'm tired of everybody saying, "Well, we shouldn't do this, because if we do this, then they're going to do something worse." They're going to do something worse anyway. They always do something worse, always. So why are we motivated by this idea that if we do something, that they may do something either the same or worse?
And
Why is that a motivation? I already know that they're going to do something worse. I already know
and
whatever it is that we didn't do. How McConnell fought like hell and screamed and jumped up and down and pulled his hair about the filibuster. And you can't do the filibuster. And if you do the filibuster, no, 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 no. The first time that they have a vote where the filibuster gets away, it's gone. It's gone. They will do it immediately. So it's like perception and optics. Fuck it. How many times can you get kicked in the balls?
Ben, this is Lou. Can I give my
Yeah,
opinions on this as an non-American? I agree with you 1000%. This is just stupid. When the news came out, I was expecting a huge conversation about this between Americans. I was expecting it, but I was expecting it more between the Democrats
yeah.
as a paradox, you know? Ye- I see that. Um, I wrote something in the chat, and it's strong, but it's exactly what I mean. You as a Democrat, you have to grow some balls. You've seen
Mm.
it twice now. Them play nice does not work. I'm not saying that you have to play bad, that you have to do like they do, but when they go low, we go high, and blah blah blah. It doesn't work. When they go low, they go lower, and they can do whatever they want anyhow, as you were saying. So this thing is nothing. It's something, as you said, any further. in the possibility,
Yep.
would have done, and he was nothing, and he was incarcerated anyhow because it was a political excuse. So it was just a bullshit. I shouldn't even mention. Europe doesn't even mention. Italy, these things happen every day. Wouldn't care. Nobody would care. Nobody would talk
James.
about it.
Oh, there you
Oh,
are, Lou. Go ahead. We
only.
couldn't hear you for a minute.
Oh, I said
Oh no,
in
we
Europe.
I heard her the whole time. She's
Oh,
on
okay,
point.
then it was me. All right. I'm sorry. Go
Sorry.
ahead.
Yeah, no, I said in Europe we don't talk about these things. It's just normal. It wouldn't be a news. All the things that Berlusconi did in his favors, and we see it like it's kind of the way it works. You have the power, you can do something for the ones that your friends and your family and whatever. You wouldn't make a talk. So you are playing right in the hand of the magas if you do this. And I'm surprised that Rick, I mean, I don't want to offend him. I have great respect for Rick, but I'm surprised that he falls, for me, is falling into the trick, as you said. And as a European, I see it like that. And I know all the Europeans, they see it like that. I mean, of course, I'm
Oh, shoot. I think my
generalizing.
network went down. Hold on a second.
Can somebody hear? Or,
Yeah, I can
ah,
hear you clearly.
okay, I think it's Ben probably that just didn't
I
hear.
went next after you though.
Yeah, sure, sure, sure. I'm almost done. So no, I just wanted to bring my European opinion on about this, and this guy. It doesn't make any difference. These guys, as I wrote in the chat, the Trump. If he could, he would raise from the grave and give a pass to Ted Bundy or any other serial killer or whatever. It's just so bad, and so this is good what Biden did. Very good, see it as a positive thing. I do not know why Americans make everything complicated, because this is a good thing, and you have to make it complicated, and you have to make it political, and you have to make it no, it's not good that we did this because of this and because of that. Okay, and that's the part about the
No,
Trump.
thank you. Look,
I'll let you.
Bravo, bravo.
Thank you. And I did want to talk
thanks,
about
Lou. I'm
something.
having trouble with my.
Yes.
Uh, I just want to do it real quick to Dr. James
Yeah.
and
Sure.
to
Sure. Sure.
some of
Sure.
you, everybody else on the stage.
Uh,
I'm having trouble with my network, so if I'm drop out, take over for me.
yes.
But I
Uh,
got the gist. The gist was you agree with me,
Yes, I totally,
and Rick
totally,
obviously
totally.
doesn't because he
And
left.
you know that when I don't agree with you, I tell you straight in the face. I totally disagree with you. You know that
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm like that. But before
Well,
you,
yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, 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 no, because I need to go soon, so I will be listening. I will not be able to talk. But now it's switching the conversation too much, so maybe we can talk about another day. But I think it's needed after this conversation about Democrats
Yeah.
and MAGA to talk about what's happening in Syria, which is very serious. And I don't know if you guys want to talk about it, want to analyze it, want to.
Yeah, no, no, no. Lou, we're open. We're not we're
But
jumping around. So if we got
it's
you
okay.
here, what
I
did
know
you want to
somebody
talk
else
about today?
wanted to talk
Good.
about that, and she said I'm after you, so I'm gonna mute myself now and let everybody talk, and then if I can jump in later on, okay. Otherwise, I do it another day about Syria.
Yeah.
I
No,
heard
no.
my name.
Oh,
I can't speak right now, so anyone that wants to keep going, I'm just gonna mute up.
okay. Awesome.
Okay.
Um.
Yep.
So,
Ronnie, go ahead.
thank you. So, if we look at what Biden said, I believe in the justice system, but as I have wrestled with this, I also believe raw politics has infected this process. And it has led to miscarriage of justice. I agree. And once I made this decision this weekend, there's no sense in delaying it any further. I hope Americans will understand why a father and a president will come to this decision. Like, fuck him being a father, being a president, that makes all the sense. They're gonna still come after him anyway. It'll just be one less thing on the plate. They will, because they can't stand Biden so much because he's done so much good and helped so much
Hmm.
people. And his if you look at his history, it's almost impeccable, except some of the stuff that happened in the 70s, 80s. But Biden, I mean, fuck being a father. It's the right thing to do. They kept coming after him just because that is his son. All right. And then on top of it, okay, he got sentenced he was scheduled to be sentenced for conviction of federal gun charges. Now, if I correct, those gun charges due to because he was on cocaine while he had a gun. And he's not supposed to have a gun if you're on drugs and if you had
Yep.
a sentence, right? And then the other one was a
Yep.
separate criminal case for tax
Well, he
evasion.
didn't have a sentence at the time.
No,
He
he's not
wasn't
sentenced yet, but that's
it
what he was
wasn't that he
going
was
to be
convicted.
sentenced for on the 12th.
No, he was being sentenced for signing a form saying that he didn't use drugs. He was never adjudicated at all prior to that. So it's
Uh,
not like he had a drug offense and then he lied about the drug offense. He just lied about the usage of drugs. That's what the check
yeah,
mark was. And you know what? Anybody who wants to get a gun, who uses marijuana, and
you
they're
can't.
not going to check it, right?
Right.
You can't check it. How many people do you think have guns that did not check the thing when they actually use marijuana? Like 70%. So it's
Right.
sort of like this infraction is so much. Also, he actually never used the gun. He bought a gun. His wife found out about it and they threw it away. He actually never actually used the gun.
Well,
It's it's
regardless if
it's
he used
uh
the gun
it's
or
crazy.
not, enough is enough. Hey,
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
being
you're right.
targeted.
It's not important.
He was being targeted just because
Yeah.
that was his son. Okay, and that's not okay. And then I understand where how people were feeling about the whole pardon thing, and I would feel the same way if he wasn't being targeted. So hey,
Yeah.
it is what it is. I'm going to pass the mic to Dr. Francine or Joelle. La.
There you go. Thanks. So good to
Uh,
hear from you,
Thank
Empress,
you.
especially about this. I needed somebody to back me up because I was going to say this, and I thought I was going to be the only one who agreed with that. So that makes me feel better.
Oh,
So
Ben,
good.
no, Ben, I back you up 100%. Because if it was Trump, knowing how Trump is, whatever his, well, how many, five, six children that he has, if they were in the same situation, you
Yep.
don't think he would have done the same thing? Given all he's doing now, he wants to pardon
Oh,
the insurrectionists and stuff. But you're upset that Biden is going to pardon
yeah.
his own son because he's been if he wasn't he's a Biden, so they targeted him. It was tit for tat. They because when they went after him for all those 34 counts, the Republicans like, oh, let's go after Biden, but we're going to try to hit him where it hurts and go after his son. That's what it was. He had every right, and like Emperor said, that's in his job description. So what are you upset for? This is I don't understand the double standards that are always applied to Democrats. I don't get it. But Republicans and Trumpers can do whatever they want. It's just mind-boggling to me. You're worried about him pardoning his son when we have 30 a president with 34 counts and putting unqualified people in major government agencies. Excuse me? We're the laughing stock of the world. So he
Yeah.
had every
You're
right
absolutely
to.
right.
So I don't know where I'm sorry Rick was coming from. I was just shocked with that comment. I just like, oh,
Yeah. No. No. I know. Look who's here. No, I agree with Joel. I appreciate that, and it is. There's no comparison. These are two separate things, and if you're gonna make a big stink about it, I don't get it. It's sort of like let him have the one thing, and let's move forward. Yeah, he's caused no damage, and I think it's a gracious thing. I can't even imagine if he did not do this it would be I don't know. There would be something that's just wrong about it.
I
It
do
just would be
challenge you,
wrong.
Ben, in this. Can we not say let him have one thing?
Yeah,
Because
okay.
then that
Thank
would
you
be
for
the
catching
assumption
me.
he's doing something wrong, and he's doing absolutely
No,
nothing
you're
wrong.
right. You're right. You're right. You are absolutely right. I need to see, my brain is being affected by the way that everything's being framed wrong anyway. And you're right. I do need to, we need to watch, you know, how we're thinking about things, because we, we shouldn't be embarrassed or feel guilty about being right. That's what it seems to be. It's like, you know, it's like we know we're right. The fact that 50% of the electorate is wacky doesn't mean we're not right. We are right. So, yeah, you caught me. Thanks, Empress. Anyway, we're go ahead, Lee.
Hi, good morning, afternoon, my fellow
Morning.
patriots. Yeah, I mean, this has probably already been said in the room because I'm a latecomer, but it just really gets me. This whole everyone, the Republicans are up
Lee,
in
you're a
the
little bit in the matrix. You know, maybe you can move
oh
around a little bit.
oh
She is not in the
okay.
matrix. You are, Ben.
Oh, I'm in the
I'm
matrix. Go ahead. Go ahead. It's my problem.
driving.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, just the maggots are just so up in arms about this, but Paul Manafort and Steve Bannon, and then our president-elect has said he's going to pardon you know the folks who were at the protesters at the people that stormed the Capitol, and where people died, and if you want to think about ethics, I mean, look at our Supreme Court is accepting gifts from rich people for private jets and expensive vacations, and nothing came of that. So I just think it's just a whole lot of about nothing, and I'm really just kind of sick of it. It's just like people are outraged when it's the other side, and then
Yeah.
they just don't look at themselves. It's so yeah. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
No, it's good, and I appreciate what you're saying, and I obviously agree with it. Yeah. Well, let's hear some more. Well, actually, Marshall, you talked a little bit about the DACA recipients and stuff. What's your feeling about the pardon, Marshall? Anybody home?
You're not going to agree with me. I think it makes Joe Biden look bad. I don't think
All
it's
right.
something. I don't think it's something he should have done. But like y'all already had that argument, so I don't really want to rehash it. If I were president, it's not what I would have done. Let's put it that way.
You have a
Okay.
right to your opinion. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. No. I think that I agree. No, that was fair, Marshall. You're good at reading the room. But I do appreciate that and how you said it. Aaron, my good friend Aaron from Brentwood. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that, right?
Hi, Ben.
Hi. Yeah. So do you agree with us, or are you going to be a whiner
What am I whining about or agreeing with?
about Biden pardoning his son?
I am on the camp of total waste of breath, and nobody will be talking about this in probably 24 to 48 hours.
There you go.
Basically, total distraction. Pretty much like anything Schumer feels like he wants to do right now that he could have done in the last 4 years. I mean, hey, listen, you know what? If you want to get your son out of jail, cool. I will waste exactly zero adenosine triphosphate on thinking about it.
All right.
That's it. That's actually a good way to think about it, because it really doesn't like require that much energy to take that opinion. So
I would propose something to everybody here.
go ahead.
When, again, because recognize that these maggot people need us to trigger their dopamine hits, and they are addicted to this as any addict is to anything else. When they come to you and try to lord this in front of your face, whether on this app or in person, and they try to get a rise out of you, right? Do
Mhm.
not start with whataboutism. Just say, okay. And then they will try to continue on with something else. And then you'll just say, okay. And then and then at some point they'll ask, they'll like try to force something out of you. And you'll just say, I just don't care. And just watch them
Yeah.
short circuit. Yeah. So what's my opinion? I don't give a fuck. And I don't know why anyone else does. Literally.
I like
Yeah.
that.
This is the darkness. We got to embrace dark. Dark Brandon showed us the way. We have to embrace Dark Brandon. It's the only way. It's unfortunate we didn't get it there. Dark Victoria understands it. Okay, we've seen it cropping up here on the app. Ruth is a holdout, but she's going to come to the table. The dark is spreading. That's the only way. The Democrats are going to be able to rebel against this, and then two, honestly, win. So fuck them.
There you- Fuck 'em.
Yeah. My only regret is that uh our Democrats and our independents have not embraced that darkness a little bit soon.
Yeah. I
All
do
of it.
agree.
No, it cannot be embraced a little bit. It must be fully. It must fully wrap around you as a nice weighted blanket. Let it relieve you. Let it relieve you of your high cortisol levels. Right. Mm. It is so. It is. It is a chef's kiss.
There you go. I love it.
That weighted blanket, that got me. That's that right
Mhm.
there. You speaking to me.
I'm just saying, just wrap around. And then when a maggot comes over to you and just say, like, you are an actual piece of shit, and I don't care to talk to you right now. And then they will complain. They will complain to you about how insensitive that it is. And why don't you just move on from the election? And why are you so angry? And you will reply, yes, I am fucking angry, and you are a piece of shit. Now leave me alone. And we can all do that. And it
Yeah,
feels
just don't do
excellent.
it in the workplace.
Oh, Jane's asking to be brought up. I'm not a
Okay.
mod, but I'm
Oh yeah. By
I'm
the
I'm
way, yeah. Let me make you a mod. By the way, yeah, I turned hand raising off. So if you want to come up, put your hand up, and we would definitely love to see you. Let's see.
well, you can
Uh,
invite her. It doesn't have to be me.
well, I don't have all my.
She's up. She's up. It's fine.
I'm
Go
here.
ahead.
I'm
She's
here.
up. Yeah, go
Hey,
go, Jane.
jumping right in on the same topic, Aaron, I wonder what you think of the following strategy right here at Clubhouse. If you know someone later in the day is going to be in our room spewing MAGA dark bullshit, not you, Marshall, don't worry, but they're just sitting in here listening to us. Do you think it's appropriate to call them out and say, Dominic, what are your thoughts on the pardon that Joe Biden did of Hunter? Why do they just sit there? They don't say shit. They should
We
speak.
don't give a fuck.
No,
Now,
let if they I would
There's
propose
no
this.
irritant value of that, Aaron, generally.
I would propose this. I would propose this. 'Cause I understand the desire, I think, and the importance of addressing what I think can largely be considered as much of an eyesore as like probably the biggest pimple you've ever seen in your life. And so what do? We attack it, right? We crush it between our fingers. And so
I'm trying not
instead
to
of
visualize
asking,
that, but go ahead.
instead of and you just get shit coming out of the right? And so the way that I would propose that we do that is not to ask them to reply to anything. Why would should we ask them to reply to anything? We have wasted well, not wasted. We have been subjected to uh years and years and years of stupid shit. We can we know all of their answers that they're going to say because they telegraph it so much. They've stuffed it down our throats, and they haven't had an original thought probably since their mother smacked them on the ass. So, what I would suggest is do not ask them what their opinion is. call out, tell them what their opinion is, and berate them for it. Do not give them an option to do it. Just say, "Oh yes, and here we have somebody in the chat. Oh, okay, ABC. It is racist, Ann. Hello, racist Ann. Thank you for recording the room. We understand that you are a racist piece of shit and totally want to waste your breath talking about the Hunter Biden thing, and we understand that. Nobody here cares, but we hope that you have a fucking day."
Yeah,
And
where
that's
that piece of shit Ann at? She better not be in here.
yeah, she was in the other room, but I was just reaching out. But I didn't want to like say anyone's name in particular. I'm not saying there was anybody like that here right now. But anyway, but yeah,
Well,
just
I'll tell you what. Because look, Jane, you brought this up a couple times, which is fair, and I know what the rules are in your room, and my rules are like 90% of the way there, but I'm still playing around with that other 10% because and the direction that it's going is this, and this is changeable. I could change. We could be a pure room where only people that are us are in the audience and on the stage, and there's no tolerance for anybody from the other side, which would theoretically means that Marshall wouldn't even be included. Um, my tendency is that I that doesn't feel as good to me. For some reason, I have this feeling that by allowing people who are not us in the audience and allowing them to participate in the chat room to a point, that there is something about being able to spread the conversation in a larger way. See, I think it would be better to point out what Dominic thinks about, and pointing out that, hey, there's this guy Dominic in the room who I don't know Dominic that well. I've known him a little bit for a long time, and I because I'm not in those other rooms. So it's fair to point somebody out and say, hey, look, there's somebody in our room who is not normally who's sort of listening in. You should just know that he's a maggot, and that would be fine. um, to me, having somebody come in the room that I disagree with, like Anne, who I've known for a long time, and who, the fact is that if she was sitting in the room and behaving and not misusing the chat room, and by the way, I've already said, and I said this to Dr. James, who's our monitor of the chat room, that we have like zero tolerance in the chat room. That if somebody starts saying bullshit shit stuff, they get kicked out of the room, and all of their posts get kicked out. So that's sort of where I am. I'm almost there, Jane. I'm not completely there. Like Dominic, he hasn't said anything bad. He hasn't said anything in the chat room. And if he's truly a maggot and he's putting up with all of our stuff, you know,
Left.
that's amazing.
You're left.
Maybe at some point
Right.
where we're chipping away at the granite. It's like, who if I was a maggot, why would I want to sit here in this room for 90 minutes? That would drive me crazy.
because
But
you
if
get
Because
dopamine from it, Ben.
yeah, what Aaron said.
It's you satisfy an addiction. It is a hit upon which you are injecting into your veins. That is
well,
why.
I look,
They're
I
also filling the content tank. They're also gathering up all their ammunition for all the ramblings that are going to happen
To
later in the
mock you
day
later. Yep.
when they invoke all of our
And
names
me.
in their spaces and we happen into one of their spaces, God forbid, and then the dog pile happens. Happened to me last week. I was really shocked, but then also I wasn't that shocked. So, yeah, there's a little bit of that.
mhm.
Yeah. Well, you
I
know what?
wish I was dogpilot. I so like attention that I would love it if I was. I'm
Scotty,
so
why am
jealous.
I feeling a little ick when you say that right now?
I am so
Because
jealous.
it
Like
is.
Yeah,
Jane,
wait, hold on a
Jane
second. I
was
want to
like
hear
the
Empress.
object.
I want to hear Ronnie. Ronnie just said something.
You know what? My name is Empress Ronnie from the great state of North Carolina, city of Charlotte. Here's the
Yeah.
thing. When people say my name, that just means I'm popular, right? and
I guess so.
spreading the hydration, sexually satisfied, and all the other good stuff. I personally think that a lot of them are dehydrated and are not sexually satisfied. So that's why they got a stick up their ass, and that they are easily been tweeted to follow a cult following of Trumpism.
Yeah.
So, but if you're going to say stage. Now, normally I won't do it, but so sometimes I'll come up on stage. Oh, earlier you were saying XYZ, XYZ. Yes, and then I hit the leave quietly button. I don't give a fuck about them fuckers. Like, they don't give a fuck about me. They don't
Yeah.
give a fuck that, people have Medicaid in different states, and the Medicaid, some are really awesome, like New York. Y'all motherfuckers are so fucking lucky. But here in North Carolina, if somebody want to get some help, it's like you're like breaking your neck going through the fire just to be able to get help when you need it. And I'm here about helping people, and doing the right thing for most of the time. And then I don't do drugs yet. I look forward to doing it. Um, but I think that they're a bunch of hip fucking cricks. They don't make any changes in my life. They're not. They're not one of my patients. And if they were one of my patients, I don't talk politics to my patients anyway. So that's not going to happen. One, two. They're not buying any fucking cruises from me. They're not booking any trips. So why the fuck I give a fuck about what someone says about me, where once I close this fucking app, I won't have another thought about them because I got real life shit going on. Fuck them. And also, I like to say down there in the goo, Dark Victoria. Oh, I love your PTR. It's so cute, and I like what you're saying in chat. Keep up the good work.
Empress Ronnie, you are feeding my soul. I have to tell you, I literally feel like I just went to church, and I am feeling fed, and I'm in the Lord.
It's the Church of Ronnie. That's what we're doing.
The Dark Empress is coming.
The Dark Empress.
Yeah, you want to follow Coke? Follow my Coke, damn it.
Yes.
All right, this is good. This is therapeutic. I like the getting the whatever it's called. Where we're not vetting. Where
We
yeah.
like to go back and forth and stuff like that when we think we can, even though we may be right, or in our opinion, we have all the research and it may change someone's mind. But we're far gone by that now. Don't give them the fucking energy. I mean, if it's something small that you want to go back and forth with, because, we love it. We love a
Hmm.
good debate. But don't go so damn ham that you give a fuck about um, what they think about anything when they call your name out. Because if they calling your ass out and they's like, oh, you said XYZ, it's like, okay, you petty bitch. All right, I did say that. Yes, and that's all you like. Say yes, and when they say, oh, well, Biden, he did XYZ, blah, blah. Yes, and that's all you gotta say. Yes, and
And we'll practice it. We're gonna practice that. Thanks, Ronnie. That is great. Uh, all right, let's see. We got Andrew came back. Thank God, Andrew. I looked around, I didn't see you there, and I said, "Uh oh, did we scare Andrew away?" I don't think so.
No, I'm not frightened. No, not at all.
Okay.
I am a little bit scared today, actually, to be honest, but only because we've had wicked snow.
Oh.
We've got a town here in, well, it's about 250 clicks away from me going north called Gravenhurst. They
Mm-hmm.
had 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14 cars stuck. People, they had to rescue people out of their cars. They took them back to the town hall, which was out of power, so they had to have generators going. So the whole town, they called it an emergency yesterday. It's an emergency there. And the Highway 11 is right now closed. There's 400 cars, vehicles, trucks, etc., that can't get through. It's just a crazy amount of snow that fell all at once. It's nuts. I know they
Has this
got,
happened before?
well, yeah, I mean,
Well,
a few
I
years
first of
ago,
all, I said, but to the point where they
this is
weren't ready
Canada.
for it, and you had these kind of problems.
Yeah, I mean, a few years ago, in between here and Windsor, or maybe it was between here, but in and around Windsor, they had
Which
at
is
least
close to Detroit, right?
30 vehicles stuck. And it was really serious because the temperatures were extremely cold. And of course, if you're sitting there and you're running
I've done it.
you're running out of gas, right? So
I've done
yeah,
it.
it's happened before. Um, but this just happened so quick, and it's pretty early yet, in the year. But I know
Yeah.
Buffalo got hit really hard because they were shoveling the fields yesterday, time and time again, to create
Oh, I
lines
was
so that
looking
the
at the football games. The
yeah,
game in where was Pittsburgh? They were in Cincinnati. Some of as a matter of fact, it looks surreal. There was so much snow
yeah,
coming
it's
down.
all around the lower Great, well, that side of the
Yeah, the
Great
Great
Lakes.
Lakes.
You guys are getting
Yes,
it
Lakes,
bad
right.
in the States, and we're getting hit here too. I got to actually shovel my driveway. Well, I don't. I got my guy coming in, but yeah. So that's kind of what is going on
So
here.
that's kept your mind off of
It has.
tariffs.
Well, and I've been taking a break from all this stuff, but I would
Yeah.
like to say that I'm really happy that Hunter was pardoned, because he's the president, Joe, and he's got that power. It's part
Yep.
of the powers of a president, so use it. Why not? You know,
That's
it
great.
it just
And
makes sense. And who wouldn't do that for their own job? Who wouldn't?
exactly.
You know, I mean,
Exactly.
Trump, he's going to pardon all the January 6 people. So what the hell?
Yeah. And he pardoned his daughter's father-in-law who
Yeah,
who
yeah,
was
yeah,
a
yeah,
felon.
yeah,
And he
yeah.
was a scumbag.
And next on the
Eh,
list is Peter Navarro, who was like some kind of trade envoy. I know we didn't like him here.
oh
So if
yeah.
he's back in that role, that's not so
Oh,
good.
I'm sure
And then,
they'll
of
get
course,
pardoned.
Trudeau went down to have dinner with Donald. I don't know what the hell,
How was
President
that
Donald.
perceived? Was that perceived that he was bending the knee, or was
I
that
don't know about
considered?
bending the knee, but maybe, I think there's a perception that it's weak. But
Uh-huh.
at the same instance, they're crying and screaming, you got to have a plan, you got to do something. Well, he went down there to talk to him. I mean, you got to talk to this guy. He's going to be president.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. Um, it's the elephant in the room. I believe, are the Republicans the elephant, or are they the donkey?
No, they are the elephant.
Yeah, so okay, so he's the elephant in the room, big time. So
Yeah.
yeah, you got to go down there. I don't know what has happened in terms of the tariffs. Probably not much, if anything. But of course, he's pressuring us to deal better with the border. So yeah, okay, we'll do that. Yeah, we'll set up a fence of some sort, barbed wire maybe.
We'll get
You know,
a white picket fence. It'll be nice.
yeah, well,
It'll
it's
be Canadian.
all the way from the top of Lake Superior there, right out to, well, I guess the Rocky Mountains, because the mountains kind of are their own barrier a little bit. So yeah, just across the prairies, we'll put that fence up.
And they're going to make Mexico pay for it. So
Yeah, and then in Quebec, I think we'll just set up more poutine stands right there.
there you go. That's a good idea. That's very practical.
Yeah, I
I
think
like
so.
that.
And it's could make some money too, and then we could put that towards the fence. Anyway, that's
I
it
have
for
to
me.
say that this thing that you were talking about, I realized because look, you're in Canada, and I went to school in Rochester, so I know this kind of weather. But when I was my 40 years in Los Angeles, the first week of January was Consumer Electronics Show, and so we always trekked up the five. We get a couple buddies and get in the car, and we head up the five into the 15 towards Las Vegas, which is a high elevation. And it gets cold there, especially as you pass Bakersfield, and there was a huge snowstorm, a huge snowstorm. I forget what year it was,
Well, aren't you up in
and
the Sierra Nevadas there,
yeah,
going
yeah,
through?
yeah. And look, for coming from LA, we have no, we're
No idea.
we're still, yeah, we don't understand snow, or we don't
Still got your
understand.
surfboard strapped to the roof.
Yeah, it's not like we're ready for any of that stuff. But I don't know how many cars, but they about I pulled over to the side. We had to get off the exit because they closed the road, and there must have been a couple hundred cars in my area. So there must have been a couple hundred cars on the other side as well. There must have been at least 800 cars or more that got stuck there at like around midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, and they kept on saying they would and they didn't open up till 7 in the morning. So we all got stuck. It was about 0 degrees. So I don't know what people did. I mean, I had enough a jacket that was warm enough to keep me warm, but it's like you know, how can you keep your engine on to keep the
Yeah.
heater
But
on?
there is historical precedence to that, and it was called the Donner Party. So just be aware.
Okay, okay. So you just brought me some PTSD. I totally forgot about that, but we all survived. But speaking of which, I'm sure Tina has seen snow. Tina, how's the snow in Finland? And she's pretty far away from the city. Tina, are you there? She can't get to the phone because it's too dark. Anyway,
Too much snow.
too much snow.
I am here. Did you call me?
Yes, we were calling you because
Yeah.
you know why? Because Andrew was talking about snow, and I was
Oh,
thinking snow. I'm
Andrew.
thinking Finland knows about snow.
Oh, Andrew, and hello, everybody. I'm multitasking. I'm unpacking at the moment. So much stuff. I'm just wondering, what I'm gonna do with that. So I'm just doing every day something and giving to the charity and going to the attic, bring them there so I can give them to the charity. So I'm really
Uh,
giving most of that because I think it's stressful. I think everybody should think about what when buy. If you buy something, think about if you really need it, because most of the things what I have here, I don't really need it. So snow, we don't have a snow, Andrew, here in
what?
Finland.
No
No,
snow?
that's
But usually you do. I mean,
But
isn't
we have
usually
this?
we
enough
do. We
for you
do
too. So.
last winter, last year, this time
Uh
we
huh.
had a lot of snow. So it's a very mild winter. There was this very strong
Snow
snowstorm.
front, like weather
Yes,
front.
yes, it was 20 days ago,
Hmm.
and it melted down day after, which is really funny because we had it like 1 day snowing, and after 1 day it was gone. So it's very gray and dark.
I'm
And
assuming that like Helsinki and the surrounding area where like I guess a lot of people live, you have all sorts of preparation for large snowstorms. Have there like in the past 10 years have there been like a bad storm that totally isolated the city? Has there
every
been something like that?
we have every year the same thing. Finns are prepared quite well,
Uh-huh.
but we are also
Tina, I hate to interrupt you, but I do
Yes.
have
Is
some.
there breaking news?
Tina, please know I'm still a nice person if you thought that before. Yes, we should conduct some kind of a, I don't know, investigation. I suspect there may be a streamer.
That
Oh, a
is
streamer right
fantastic.
now? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
Well, tell me who it is. Let's
I'm
get rid of
feeling
him.
very joyful. Joyful.
Okay, well, let me see.
Ah, Jane,
Okay.
this is just a fun, like, this
I
is all
know.
press
What's
is
good?
good press.
I I don't see anybody named Joy.
Okay.
Do you see anybody?
You know
I don't
me,
know. You
Chicken
like, why
Little.
don't you just tell me?
Jane. Can I finish my
Absolutely. Go ahead. I
thank you?
apologize, Tina.
No, that's okay.
Tina,
uh
I felt like you were getting to the crescendo of the story too. I'm waiting with bated breath.
yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
okay. I don't come here to disturb you. I come here to have a good people here who accept me as I am. I'm a foreigner. I don't speak so quickly as you do. So just a little bit respect. Thank you. So I
No.
lose yeah.
Did you lose your thought?
I lose my thought, but I was going to say that unfortunately,
Well, we were talking
Lapo,
about taking things and
yeah,
donating them,
yeah, that
which
was
we're
the,
doing. We're going to
yeah, we're
donate
doing.
a
I think
third of
it's
everything in here.
that's my suggestion to
Yeah.
everybody, because it was also Black Friday. But the second one, the climate change is here, because we don't have a snow, we don't have a winter. It's very mild, but it's gray and dark. And unfortunately, it's very heavy to the mental health, because you don't have a lot of
Yeah.
light. And I'm struggling a little bit. I try to be outdoors, but this is very difficult month for me always, because I've been living 10 years in Italy, and I love to have a light, and I love to socialize with people, and we just don't do that. By the way, I just wanted to bring shortly something. There's a big scandal in Finland, because we have a right wing government, as you know, and unfortunately, two of the representatives of the right wing parties,
Mm.
they are going to attend this so-called, let's say, Nazi. I can now. I use N word, Nazi get together in 6th of December, which is our national day, by the way.
Uh-huh. Hmm.
And that's something very unusual. Normally, representative of the government, they are right wingers, hard right wingers from True Finns Party, and normally we go. All the representatives of the government goes to the visit the president's house,
Hmm.
6th of January. That's a big event. It's always broadcasting nationally. It's a tradition. You will see these people with gala dress. Somebody can say it's superficial, but it's a tradition. You will
It's a
have the
tradition.
it's
Sure.
you will have the war veterans, and you will have always like people who achieve something, ordinary citizens, but artists, and of course
So
government
are people
representatives.
going to boycott this?
These two persons are going to boycott that, instead of going to visit the president's to join president's event, which is our national day, 6th of
Of
December.
December. Yeah.
They will go this uh, so-called Nazi.
I mean,
Uh,
is it real Nazi? Do they
yeah,
actually,
they you
they
know
are
they have the.
supporting Nazi from the
Yes, do you
1930s?
know they have the fire sticks? Do you know that story in 30s when
Uh-huh.
Nazis were marching with fire sticks? You know
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
story?
Do they use swastikas?
Yes, they do that. That's incredibly, I mean, unusual. I mean, okay, we have a democracy where everybody is free to attend, even nasty
Yeah.
communities or marching. I mean, we allowed them to do. We don't jail anybody. You can do that, but you cannot bring symbols. You know,
Mm.
it's not allowed to bring aggressively sort of symbols. So
Okay.
this is somewhere in the gray area, because it's very strong symbol, this fire stick, and
Got
people
it.
marching, at the night time with the black dresses. So this is unusual. I mean, I am so disappointed. I'm disappointed of the government. I'm disappointed of a PM prime minister who is moderate conservative, because he didn't say anything. I'm disappointed with these right wingers. They should just keep quiet and have their meetings, but not to do that publicly, because that is, first of all, it is breaking our democracy. It
Mm.
is the bad sign at the moment. So
Yeah.
so I just wanted to bring that. It's a not nice news, but I'm wondering, I'm following that, and I just, it reminds me so much that Nazi marching in 30s, was it
Ah.
in 30s, when they have these fire sticks,
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
were
yeah.
like a shouting sort of things to the Jews, and that's, you know of course they say, no, no, we are just a sort of a patriotic group. I mean,
Right.
everybody can say you are patriotic, but if you look at the persons who are marching there, we know they come from sort of not right wingers, hard right wingers, even Nazi minded,
Right. The extremists that weren't even involved in government.
extreme right wingers,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all
yeah.
of they are young men, unfortunately. So this is so. Go ahead. I'm gonna listen, and yes, thank you for
Wow,
having me.
thanks, Tina. That's sad and it's disturbing.
Yes,
No,
and
I
buy
know that
less.
Finland is such an open society, and it's like I always like to use the Nordic countries as an example of where people are where things seem to be working, but
And I
even when
think,
they're working, there's little bumps in the road, and I
and
think
I
this
think,
is
I think we
yeah,
just, I'm ashamed of that.
yeah,
But I want to, share this information because this is the reality where we are at the moment. We are following, unfortunately, the trend of the European conservative right wing. Radical right movements, but of
yeah,
course not all the Finns are like that. So I just want to say, and yes,
absolutely.
buy less. That was my main message. Buy less because
Buy less, give away
yes,
more. I like
yes,
it. All right,
okay.
that's going to be your closing comment, pearls of wisdom, because we're now we've got about 12 more minutes. So thanks for that, Tina and Lou. Yeah, we just say something. I can't hear you, but maybe somebody else can. Is anybody hearing Lou?
Nope.
Nope. Lou, you may have to go out and come back in because we're not hearing you. All right, let's do some closing comments. Scott, the Reverend Scott.
Can I just quickly add a tag
Oh,
to
go. Oh,
Tina?
Andrea, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's buy less, give away more, and before that, hashtag make less shift. Less shit. Make less
Make.
shit. We don't need half the stuff that's getting made.
I know. I'm
I know
sort
we
of
need incomes and an economy, but like let's take a look at that.
yeah. I'm like freaking out. We're supposedly going to be out of here in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we have to. I have to get rid of at least half my stuff. So
Do you
just
know
have to
where
do
you're
it.
going? Is that we can talk about that later? Do you know
Well, no,
physically
no.
where you're going?
We're moving into a new house. We're not. We're still in Ouagadougou. We're going to be here for another year, but the lease was up, and yeah, we had a crazy idea of actually uh, a new building, which was stupid. So yeah, I've got a year of probably things go wrong. It would have been so much nicer to get a house that already existed. Anyway, that's just me venting.
Ben,
Uh,
do you
go
know
ahead.
how or how you met your beloved? Is there a diplomatic dating app or something?
Yeah, people do ask me about that.
Like,
No, I just
That's a
I
scary thing
but
with diplomatic immunity.
right, exactly. No, I met
It
Ellen
could be
on
called.
OK Cupid, just like everybody else does. So I guess I was like,
cool.
um, all right. So where were we? Did Andrea? Did she disappear? Jeez, it's just a weird day today. Okay, we got Lou. We got Lou. Can you? Let's try you. Uh, I don't know what's wrong. I'm not hearing anything. Anybody else
Ben,
hearing
you're
her?
getting a lot of love in the chat right now. I gotta say, it's worth a look.
We cannot hear you, Lou. I cannot hear you.
What is this? Question for Tina. Did pamphlet distribution happen? Did you see that, Tina? The message from Lou?
Is do you mean? I think yes, it happened. If you mean instructions for the crisis, Yes, we've been discussing whole month, but probably it's not interesting for you. But it is very new thing when we have instructions for the Swedish and Finns how to prepare yourself in the case of war, in the case of cyber attacks, in the case of floods or any kind of crisis. Now people are asking each of other, so do you have food for 1 week? Do you have food for 3 days? So politicians are showing their kitchens, how much food they have in reserve. It's kind of a ongoing discussion going on. But there's something I wanted to just tell you, that we have 50,000 shelters in Finland where to put nearly 4 million people. And I think it's amazing thing.
Oh, there we go with the dogs. Hey, just a message to Carranza down below. I tried to invite you up. You were like going bonkers in the chat room. Are you? Have you been drinking? Anyway, yeah. Please excuse Carranza because sometimes he gets obsessed, but he means well. All right, so let's go. We were going to go to Scott. Scott, the Reverend Scott.
Hey, what's everybody? Yeah, I feel I went on a date with a black female Trump supporter this weekend. So
Oh,
that was
that sounds very bizarre. But how did that
super
go?
interesting, very kinky, very interesting person. And I did today, recorded today, what was probably the most important podcast conversation I've done in a really long time. With the author, I've had him on my podcast 2 times before. He's a man of the left. His name is Todd
Okay.
McGowan, and he wrote a book
Okay.
called Embracing Alienation: Why We Shouldn't Try to Find Ourselves. It is the most significant political book I've read in a long time, philosophical book about just the positive role of alienation and
That sounds
subjectivity.
like Carranza would like that, but go ahead.
It is a short read. It's only 150 pages. It's amazing. The podcast conversation, I'll post it. I'm posting it right now. It was just uh, it was really good and transformative for me. And he's great.
Well,
So yeah.
I like
There
it.
you
So
go.
you put a link in?
I'll put a link. The
Yeah, put a
show
link in.
here's the podcast in general, and then the new episode will be up in about 15
Okay.
20 minutes. So I'll put the link to the podcast itself.
Yeah, you can either put it up the jumbotron wherever you want. You're in charge.
Yeah, here we go. I'll put it on the jumbotron even. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, we you can do it. You do it. All right. Was that it? Did you have anything to add, Reverend
No,
Scott?
I like everybody here, and I'll tell you what. If there's any list, I want to be on it. Like there was Jane with the
We'll put you
big.
on the list.
I was
All
being
right.
consulted as Jane's friend
You're
about
on
a
the naughty
list.
list, are you not?
Oh, of course, always,
Yeah.
always, naughty and nice. And look, I didn't know they had naughty, only nice in Canada. I thought, Andrew.
Yeah. So this new change of life, opportunity. When is that happening? I mean,
Might be a little slow, and there might be a kink in the works. Might be a kink in the works. I'll tell you about
oh,
it later.
all right. Well, keep me informed.
All right, later.
I was all ready to tell you like we're good barbecue chicken, but you know that's just me. All right, let's go to L. Speaking of snow, is there snow in Minnesota, L?
There is a
L.
tiny, there is a tiny bit of snow, and it is very cold. It's
Oh,
not nice.
okay.
Not liking it.
I like. I mean, if it's going to be cold, there might as well be snow. I don't like it where it's just like cold. You know. Well, actually, the worst is when it's cold. It's not quite cold. It's like maybe 35 degrees, and the snow is like melting, and it gets crusty, and yeah, I don't like that. And your feet get wet. I don't like that.
Yeah, it's just not even fun to go out, and it isn't even that cold yet. I mean, it's still like in the 20s, so it's really nothing yet. But it's just it's coming, and
Mhm.
it's not fun.
So, what
But
do you think? I haven't gotten your opinion about the pardon. Was it a
Mm,
gracious thing or a stupid thing?
I wouldn't call it either one of those things.
Okay.
I was surprised by it.
Hmm.
I was surprised. Initially I was surprised, and then I was mad. My initial reaction was, no, you're better than that. You said you weren't going to do that. I want you to have integrity. And then I thought about it for about, a half a minute
Yeah.
and thought, no, no, I don't blame you at all. I think it was a really good idea. I think, at the end of the day, what matters? Your family matters. Of
Yeah.
course, you're going to do that. And
Yeah.
what has he got to lose? And given what he's looking at and watching, his whole thing, everything getting dismantled, it's like, why not do something positive? I agree. I mean, I've never spent much time investigating the Hunter Biden stuff. So just enough to know that I think I agree when people say that we probably wouldn't even be talking about it if he wasn't a Biden. That, this is the sort of crime that, gets swept under the table all the time. But that aside, I don't know. I guess I mostly think that at this point, Biden must be feeling pretty impotent, and it must be nice to be able to do something
I
positive to make a
I
difference.
think this will be looked upon as in the future. I just think it'll be like, well, first of all, I think Aaron's right. I think this will disappear in like the next 5, 10 days. We will
Yeah,
forget about it.
I do too.
And at the end of the day, when you think about it, it's like this whole controversy around it is, it's not about Biden. It's about us. It's how it affects us, and it's like, no, you know what? It should be about him, because it's like it's give him some grace. And if it was me, I would do it. If I didn't do it because of some noble cause, I would hate myself for the rest of my life. But I would just hate myself.
And
So
well, he's going to get criticized either way. I mean, if
yeah,
he did, he was going to
exactly.
get
But
criticized if
I
he
think
didn't.
it should be celebrated. I said this to
Oh yeah,
some of the.
Scott's totally into it. He's
I,
like
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I look,
pushing it.
first off, the Federalist 72, which I mean most people think is written by Hamilton, but of course we don't know. But Hamilton there, I'll say, it calls it the benign prerogative, and basically says the president should have wide latitude, and the Supreme Court has upheld this, that basically should have unilateral authority except with impeachments. And so this is, and before the media sort of toxic, take winner take all political culture, presidents used to pardon way more people. I think, and I would support Republicans doing it too. I love pardons. I think we incarcerate more of
Uh-huh.
our population per capita than any industrialized nation, and most nations non-industrialized too. I mean, we should celebrate the use of the benign prerogative in any of its partisan forms. I
You know
love it, and
what?
I think we shouldn't have to apologize for the president using discretion. That is part and parcel. We should celebrate this as constitutional fidelity.
What about the conflict of interest, though? I mean, there's one thing about parties, kind of like the noble pardon versus the nepotism pardon. I mean, this is something that I don't hear anyone talking about right
Like
now.
if nepotism was corruption, we have a mechanism for that. It's impeachment. If the
What
part,
about,
it,
okay,
yeah, I mean
just hold
that's the
on.
process.
So I'm not, this is kind of a yes and, this is not a no but. So what I'm thinking about pardoning someone, I'm thinking about this person who does not have access to resources, is rotting away in prison. They're innocent, and they get the air quotes noble pardon versus I pardon everybody I'm related to. To me, it's not a good look, and
Well,
maybe
has
I
he
sit
done
with
that?
Marshall on that.
Has he
What's that?
pardoned everybody that he's related to?
Well,
I don't think that's
I'm
true
I'm
with
being
hard
I'm
ones.
being I know I'm exaggerating a bit, but what
Well,
I
because
mean
no,
is,
if he did that, I would have a problem with it.
yeah, okay,
I don't
yes,
have a
and
problem with this specific situation.
I don't think you need to have a problem with it. I just think about, there are probably folks who are truly innocent that he hasn't found, that probably could use that pardon a little bit more than someone of wealth and resources like Hunter
But the
Biden.
great thing is, it's not a zero sum game. It's not a limited resource. You can pardon as many
Fair
people as you
enough.
want. That's amazing. I love it. I love gratuitous mercy. I think we should. I wish he pardoned more people. It's great.
You know what? It's interesting, because I know you, Scott, and who you are and what you are, and I love this because to me as a Jew, this is sort of I thought that is what Christianity is all about. I mean, isn't this the most Christian act? Would be
Then
this
make it a
pardon?
jubilee. Let's make it a jubilee. Let's just let them all go. I mean, I'm fine with that part.
Anybody that's a serious Christian, no matter what your party, should celebrate this. All the
Well,
evangelicals.
I agree.
It's the
I'm,
story of the prodigal son. It's fantastic.
yeah.
It's beautiful in public life.
Can we get back to the Dahmer party?
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
No.
Well,
What the?
some of you have heard my rant on the Dahmer party documentary. So, yeah, you guys thought I was kidding. I wasn't.
Well, Ted, what is it? Tell us.
Best documentary ever.
The
Well, I just heard you.
Dahmer
Yeah,
party.
I heard you referring to the Dahmer party before. Didn't somebody bring up the Dahmer party?
I may have missed it, but I've had bad network.
Yeah, I
I
was
don't know.
referring to the
This is
Donner Party
interesting.
when you were.
Is that a
And
documentary on
Andrew,
Netflix?
Andrew, didn't you reference it, Andrew?
Yes, I did when Ben, you were talking about going up to Las Vegas, and I said, I made reference to the Donner Party when you got
Oh, the
stuck in all that
Donner
snow.
party. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So it turns out, best documentary ever. It's so great. Like, really, if you're looking for something to watch, I mean, how many things do we watch that we totally forget we ever saw? I've watched it 3 times, and you're probably going to think I'm really nuts here. It is so interesting and so moving.
Is
And
this the airplane crash? Is that what this is about?
what no, what happens is they think they're going for the gold rush,
Yeah.
and they're trying to get to
Oh,
California.
okay. Okay. I'm thinking
And the
something different. Yeah.
family are, they're like, in a covered wagon, and they're all going there. And it's the story of what happens when they get lost,
Uh-huh.
and they get distract they get out of their own they get in their own way, and they can't get across the mountain range before the snow comes in. See, this is all very relevant to what we're talking about here. But what is really interesting, and here's the spoiler alert, because you guys are never going to go watch the Donner Party documentary, is at the end, as you know, cannibalism comes into this picture.
Right.
And at the end, when they're doing the cannibalism thing, this is the part that's amazing, is they label the packages with like a mark for what their family name is so that they don't eat their own family. See, this is all very relevant.
Oh, jeez.
Which I just never forgot that they had done this amazing thing. Here they are starving to death,
Yeah.
literally starving to death, frozen to death in this horrible situation. And they do this very civilized, apparently hardwired almost kind of thing where they make sure that they don't eat their kid or their parent or their sibling. So that's what I wanted to share.
There you go. That's a happy sort of segue.
What I've got.
Yeah, I know it was well meaning. Wow. Okay, so let's go to James. Did you want to do yours? You got a closing comment?
Were you talking to me?
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
I was.
Dr. James.
Yeah, I was actually. I got a message that we were getting live streamed, and I was looking for what account could possibly be doing it. I think I'm gonna just FYI. I think I'm gonna have a new sort of way I moderate out potential live streamers, which is if they only have a couple of friends, maybe they need to build up some friends before they're listening in the room.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Because
Whatever you want to
there's
do that can use to
thanks.
enforce it works with me. I don't know how else to do it. It's like how do you enforce this?
He's constantly spinning up new accounts. So, I
Mm.
was thinking if I don't recognize a name and they don't have a bunch of friends, I'm just going to boot them and, they'll eventually
Yeah.
find their way back. They're a real.
Matter of fact, that's totally fine. Yeah, anybody that looks suspicious, boot them.
All right. Awesome. Well, it's nice to spend a little bit of time with y'all today.
Yeah. No, thanks, and thanks for your good hard work, Dr. James. We appreciate it. All right,
Yeah.
Marshall, you have any closing comments, pearls of wisdom?
Yeah, I do. Two book recommendations. One, The Horse, A Galloping History of Humanity.
Timothy C. Weingard, who's also the author of a book called The Mosquito. It goes back about 5,500 years and chronicles human usage of horses. And then the
Oh,
second one is from the 1980s. It's by an author named Elliott Morrison. It's called The History of the United States Naval Operations in World War II, Volume 5, The Struggle for Guadalcanal, August 1942 to February 1943. And again, it's by Samuel Eliot Morrison, for anyone interested.
I love it. I love your historical stuff, Marshall. Whenever you're making us smarter. So, okay, Lee, did you have any closing comment, pearls of wisdom?
Yeah, I just want to I'll feed off of what Dark was saying earlier, but I think it's the season for emotion regulation and just don't be their dopamine hit.
I like that. Okay. Uh, Lou, we're having trouble hearing, so I guess we'll try to do that tomorrow. Francine, are you there? How about you being the caboose? Take us out something inspirational.
Yeah, I have a closing comment.
Oh, you have a closing? All right. So
Oh,
why don't you do Francine
give
and
it
then
to
we'll go to Andrew.
Andrew.
Huh?
I,
Give it to Andrew.
I would like all my American friends to ask Joe Biden to pardon me for my ski trip in 1982 in Kalispell, Montana.
A ski trip in 1982. I love it.
Yeah, I painted the town red and I ended up visiting the local lockup that night. Um,
Wow.
but it wasn't federal. It was just, local stuff. But, pardon would be nice. Anyway.
Andrew, that's great. You've added some texture to your autobiography.
Oh, it was fun though. I'd do it again.
I'll have to tell my
I'd be a
my
repeat
being
offender,
incarcerated
absolutely.
story. I have one
Thanks,
too,
guys.
but that's good. All right, thanks, Andrew. All right, go ahead, Francine.
Okay. My friend Mike Lacey is out on bail. For the back page owner is out on bail because the Ninth Circuit released him. And so that's my happy news for Thanksgiving.
Oh, good.
He doesn't belong in there in the first place. But he was in for 5 years and now he's out on bail. So that my words of wisdom are that Biden should pardon him.
There you go. Okay. Wow. I am having trouble here. I hope you can hear me. Go ahead. Al, you're off, Mike. Al, did you say something? Uh-oh. All right. Hopefully you hear me because it's time. Do you hear me? Dr. James, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. All right. Boy, I'm gonna have to see if I can find a better place to be. Anyway, thanks for everybody. Happy Monday. Have a great rest of the day. Thank you so much, Empress Ronnie. You had so many great contributions today. And we will see you later.